Order in the court.
We're doing a verdict watch out of Wyoming. This story happened several weeks ago. A court hearing for Sunita Perks, 26 years old, was on March 9th, 2022 at the Wyoming District Courthouse. He had shot his 2-year-old daughter, Khalise Brewer, at his home during his visitation with her. Then he would turn the gun on himself, but he survived. I've watched the news reports that Parks had a violent past, such as armed robbery when he was 16, and that he had just gotten out of prison for serving 6 years. But he was doing fairly well, even though he was out on parole, meaning he wasn't testing positive for drugs and he was reporting how he was supposed to. I also believe I heard that he did have a firearm, and I believe he went back to court, and I think he got another year's jail time. I'm not quite sure about that, but I think that's what happened. But I do know that he had been in jail when he was 16, and he did do the 6-year stint. But he also had a domestic violence allegation, and the reason why it's an allegation is because the woman that had originally pressed charges on him wouldn't cooperate with the police, and we all know how that goes. We've been in those kind of situations where sometimes we just want it to go away for whatever reasons. And, sometimes things even worse happen. But, the domestic violence charges was dropped. However, he did have to go to a domestic violence class. And I also read like a week before this tragic incident happened, he did not attend that class. So we all know he's out on parole and he's not even supposed to have a firearm, but he has one anyway. And, he decides to pretty much take himself out and take his daughter out because he was ordered to pay $162 in child support. Exactly. It's crazy. You want to take your life out and your daughter's life out because you have to, you have to pay this small amount of money for a month, for your daughter. $162. I mean, isn't that like a water bill or a light bill? I mean, really. But this is why he decided to do this. I also went on this young woman's page, Khalise Brewer's mother, and I did see that she had a newborn baby. And even though she has that newborn baby that I'm sure makes her happy, it probably makes her sad at the same time because that baby probably does similar things that Khalise did. I mean, Khalise was only 2 years old. And obviously she was pregnant, when all this was going on. I'm really hoping that this man was not the father of that second child. I'm hoping, but I didn't even look in to see, if it was. But I did see that people were actually telling this young woman that it's her fault, that she's to blame. She's also to blame because she did something. The court ordered that Parks was supposed to get visitation, and she sent her daughter over there. She did not know. I even saw a news clip. She did not know that he was upset because he had to pay child support. And she said, had she known that, she would have did anything to protect Khalise. And slightly off this story, if I'm remembering everything right, I did cover this story as well. The baby girl's name was Zoe Pereira. That's what the father named her. And the mother named her Autumn. And I believe the mother's last name, I can't remember right now. But they weren't getting along. But he got visitation rights. And during those visitation rites, even though she felt that he was becoming unhinged and that she felt that, her daughter may suffer because of this, they threatened, to lock her up and give him custody regardless. So she really didn't know what to do. And he ended up, making sure his daughter was fastened in a horrible way in the back seat of his car. And he got in the front and he torched it. The only thing is the car was so hot that he jumped out and jumped his ass in a nearby pond. Meanwhile, this little girl, she went up in flames. And all because it was time for his visitation, And this woman, probably to this day, and that baby was only 2 years old. And this woman to this day is probably thinking, what could I have done differently? It's like, you can't hardly do anything differently when things are court ordered, but be on the run, So it's a tragic case. It really is. But for people to attack this young girl and say that you could have done something you shouldn't have done, it's ludicrous. It really is. But we all know by now that those people have hard lives. They are heartless. They have nothing going for themselves, and they look for people's misery, on the internet so they can throw salt in their wounds. We know this. And unfortunately, they are doing this to her. If I post a story about a situation about a, let's say, 3-month-old baby who died a tragic death, and 100% of it is correct with what I'm talking about, but I pronounce the baby's last name wrong, there might be somebody say, oh, you don't know shit. That's not even the baby's last name. But they don't even care about the fact that, I'm trying to tell you what happened to this baby. It's not about that. It's about what they see that you've done wrong. And, you just have to overlook that. Every now and then I get a comment like that. When I do get a chance to look at the comments, sometimes I leave them because they're very humorous to me. And depending on my mood that day, I may just delete it because I almost feel sorry for that person, because this video that I did, this is what you got out of it. And it's almost sad, And I hope this young woman, I hope she can ignore that, and just tend to your daughter and justice for your oldest daughter. And I see she has a strong family support. And I'm glad of that. Speaking of family support, this is just one of the baby's aunts that had something to say about her niece, Khalise.
She was a fun kid. She was a happy kid. Her 2 years in life, she never stopped smiling. The only time she did stop smiling was when she had to sit down. So we're just trying to look at it positively like that, because she really did live a good life. She was always happy, the sweetest kid, the busiest kid. She kept us busy for sure. The house is definitely quiet without her, but we have faith that we're going to get justice. It's going to take time, but we're going to be patient, and we're going to be here, and we're going to do what we need to do to help. I just want to thank everyone.
The family held a vigil at Park's house. They say he resided there with another adult. I'm not sure if that was maybe the baby's grandmother or another sibling. I have no idea. I didn't look into that. I was just basically focused on Khalise, but they did a vigil outside his home where a lot of people came with, balloons and the candles. And it was a sad moment. And you got to see, I saw a lot of clippings of the mother, but I put her in this clip too. And I just want to say my condolences. And another aunt, another sister, she had said that, the support had been tremendous. And she's hoping that, when the next top story comes up, which I'm sure is already out, that she continues to get that, she hopes that the family still gets the support. I've been looking out for children's cases, seriously, for the past 10 years. Unfortunately, I just was doing it on Facebook, and I just recently, started this, but I will definitely be following this case. I had just came across this baby girl's picture and it didn't say what was going on with her. I just thought her face was so cute. I was like, oh my God, this kid is so cute. She had the little hard cheese and I just thought she was so cute. And when I clicked it on and then to see that this happened to her, that's when I looked more into the case. So most definitely I will be following this case to the very end. It's tragic. Children's lives matter. Another child. It just doesn't stop. Lately it's been the fathers that have been doing this for whatever reasons. But, mothers do it too. Grandparents have killed children too. So it's not just the fathers, but lately it seems to be that way. It seems to be the young fathers lately. And it's not just, black fathers. It's been whites. It's been everything lately. But depending on your viewpoint and how you feel the world is, you'll just, stick to one circumstance. I can't, because a child, to me, is a child. Doesn't really matter, the race of the kid. So here's a small clip again of the mother. And, most definitely, justice for Khalise Brewer. Rest in peace, baby girl. Just terrible.
Quiet in the house. You could feel it. I don't know how to explain the feeling, but it's just something's not there. Something is missing.
Khalise just impacted so many. Khalise impacted everybody she met. She made smile. So to think that smile, I'm not gonna see that smile on her face, on a picture, but not on her face. It's crazy. It's crazy. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe Khalise gone. I just can't believe it. Mom. 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 Mama.